The Rams did enough to win 17-3 against an injury-ridden Baltimore Ravens team, but one man was all over the field. One man covered the entire land, and that man is Nate Landman, setting a single-game franchise record for the Los Angeles Rams. No Ram in history has ever had more tackles than he had Sunday in a single game, racking up 17 tackles against the Ravens. Today on the First and Tuna podcast, our ALL-22 episode, we're looking at that man himself, Nate Landman, and how he racked up those 17 tackles. Right after this, Rams sound of the game.
The left butt cheek on the ground, that's a catch.
Left butt equals 2 feet,
Yes,
right, Dean Blandino?
That's all you guys. You guys can go with that.
Hello, ladies and gentle Rams. I am Tuna. This is the First and Tuna podcast where we cover all things Los Angeles Rams. One thing we do every single week is we take a deep dive into the ALL-22 film. What is ALL-22? It's just coaches' angles. It's wide view. It's end zone view. Gives us a better look at different position groups, different players. So that way internet nerds like myself can feel like a coach and dive into the game a little bit deeper than the broadcast. Today's focus, like I said, is Nate Landman, inside linebacker who I said before had 17 tackles. It's a franchise record for the Rams, and he's been a godsend for this run defense. So 6 weeks in, it's about time that we look specifically at him and how he accumulated those 17 tackles. Now, I don't want to waste time today. I do want to dive straight into the film. But if you do need more updates, the trending, the injury reports, thoughts on the game from more football nerds like myself, make sure you're tuning into our channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Check out the video live section on our channel here. We go live with Sheriff Joe Baggs, host of the Ram Showcase podcast, or our morning show, Tuna and the Sheriff, where we cover all those things for you. It's a lot of fun. It's a good way to start the morning if you're stuck in traffic at 7 a.m. Make sure to check that out. And also, head over to Ram Showcase, show our boy Joe some love. Now, if you're new here, I hope you enjoy the ride and you keep coming back. If you're a weekly viewer, you know what to do. Comment your thoughts, questions, concerns below as you're watching the film. Also, give us feedback. I'm not perfect at this. I'm still crafting this as we go. So any feedback you have, whether it's technical, whether it's film related, make sure you drop it in those comments below. I do appreciate them. And as always, near the end of the episode, if you do make it to the end of the film, we tell you to leave a certain emoji in the comments, so that way we know you made it to the end. So be tuned for that. Without further ado, let's dive into Nate Landman film. Starting off the film early in the first quarter, it was actually a little frustrating. The run defense got better as the game went on, but early on, the Ravens were coming out in 12 personnel, 13 personnel. So learning point, if you guys don't know what 12 personnel is, that is having more than one tight end on the field. That is 2 tight ends. So for them, I think this is Isaiah Likely right here. They also got Mark Andrews right here. So that is 12 personnel. The Rams were in like their nickel base, like their star base, where they run 3 safeties. This is what they want to be in. So you'll have 1 linebacker here, 1 linebacker there. And if you count the safeties, you got 1, 2, and 3. So this is a little bit of a mismatch in my opinion. The Rams really love what Lake, Kinchins, and Curl can do in the box, but against 12 and 13 personnel, it is a little bit of a mismatch. They're outweighted. Here on this play, what we're going to get, it's going to be a natural cutback play drawn up for Derrick Henry. Nate Landman is going to make the tackle, but it is after, I believe, he does get 6 yards. So they were getting really good runs early on in this game. The blocking we're going to see. The center and left guard are going to work Kobe, and the center is going to try to pick up Landman. This guard is going to end up taking Braden Fisk, and this tackle is going to try to work around. So if you can tell through my terrible editing, kick out. About right here, down this lane, is the cutback lane that we're going to see. That's a messy drawing. But yeah, right here, there's going to be an alley that Derrick Henry is going to run through, and Nate Landman is going to meet him in that hole. Check it out. Boom. Boom. Pretty straightforward. So that's 1 tackle for Nate Landman. What I would like to see, now Landman is by no accounts an extremely high caliber athlete. He's not the fastest guy, but he's very, very smart and intelligent. I do like his vision, always getting eyes on the running back in the backfield. So as this play goes on, you see him flow into the ball. And this is really, really where Derrick Henry makes his money, man. You get the defense flowing all one way. worried about him getting to the outside, and they create this natural cutback alley right here. And this is where you see those Derrick Henry runs pop off for 20-plus yards. Nate Landman, very, very happy he's able to plant his feet in the ground, get back inside the center here, and make a tackle. That's where he thrives a lot, in my opinion. He is able to, instead of just getting blocked, he's not perfect. He does get blocked sometimes. But when he has the ability to, he's able to swim off blockers and at least get an arm in to slow down guys, or in this case, make the tackle. It is a 6-yard game. We will see the defense get better as the game goes on. This is still in the first quarter. This is 10:49, and the Ravens are driving down the field. And this is another example, like I was telling you, if you see this play is going to end up for 12 yards, we'll run it, and then we'll break down what the hell happened. The Ravens are actually in 11 personnel here. So not even 12 personnel. They only have one tight end on the field. That's Isaiah Likely right here. Honestly, just a well-blocked scheme here. And Braden Fisk puts them in a bad spot where he jumps it. So you noticed play is going to go off, kind of off tackle here to Derrick Henry. You're going to get a motion here by the offensive line moving this way. This gap control is not sound. I don't know what the defensive call is supposed to be here, but when Braden Fisk jumps to his right in this gap, kind of really plays into the hands of the offensive line. So boom, you see them all moving this way. Braden Fisk going against the grain here. I could see what he wants to do. This is what Aaron Donald would do a lot as well. This is what Jared Verse does sometimes, is if you're going to jump inside and try to cut between these guys, Fisk has to be quicker, has to stay lower, and has to stay more vertical. He gets a little bit too wide here, and he ends up getting blocked by this guy. Yeah, it goes a little bit too far wide. So now at this point, right here, really bad spot, because now you got free blocker, and a Derrick Henry who's going to be one-on-one, in their minds with a safety, and that's a win all day for them. Luckily, Landman doesn't quit on the play. So here's Nate Landman. He's going to get double teamed. He's going to absorb the double team, keep working, and get back to at least make a tackle. Sucks it is a 12-yard gain. In my opinion, if we're trying to find a silver lining with everything, in years past, we've seen other linebackers where this right here means they're completely done. This play is all the way already down here, and this guy's still back here. But like I said, keep your eyes on Nate Landman. Every play counts, every yard, every inch counts. The Ravens didn't score a touchdown on this drive, despite them chunking down the field on the ground. And it's plays like this. Landman sees it. The double team leaves him to go get the other guy, Reader. Here's Landman. Keeps working. Helps make the tackle. And one thing I noticed in watching his film, almost every tackle he makes, watch his right arm when it comes around Henry's backside. He's always punching at the ball. Watch this. It may not seem like a lot, but he's got him there. He's punching. He's trying to get around as best he can. It's a pseudo move. It's two moves in one. One, it's aggressively getting his arm around with force to make the tackle come down, but he's bringing it at an angle to where, hey, wherever my hand lands, hopefully it's where the ball is as a punch. So I'm bringing him down. Worst case, best case, I get a fist on the ball. So I love seeing that from Nate Landman every single play. So outcome is not great, but he fights through and helps bring him down after 12 yards. So third tackle for Nate Landman here. This is still the first quarter. Ravens are up 3-0, 26 seconds on the clock, 2nd and 8. Like I said, the Ravens were using a lot of 12 and 13 personnel early on, but the Rams, for whatever reason, weren't adjusting right away. So same scenario. We got 3 safeties on the field, 2 DBs versus the Ravens 13 personnel. Here's a tight end. Here's a tight end. And here's a tight end. Plus your 5 linemen. Man, that's 8 blockers. In a scenario where they've got Cooper Rush throughout the first quarter, I think Derrick Henry ran the ball 9 or 10 times. I don't know what took the Rams so long to finally adjust, but this is a mismatch. This is not what you want. Eventually, the Rams do bring in another defensive lineman, like here in the center. It's a true 3-4 base, But in this scenario, they've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 down linemen and 2 backers. This is a safety, Quentin Lake. This is another safety, another safety. I'm not a fan of running too high when you've got a jumbo formation like this. This is very, very, I feel, basic for an offense to really get double teams. You're going to get these two wanting to double team verse up to a linebacker. You're going to get these two doubling Fisk up to a linebacker. And then same thing here. Double team, try to get up here. And I'm assuming double team here as well. I can't remember. Yeah, let's watch this play. This ends up going for 6 yards. Nate Landman gets the tackle there. Jared Verse does a really good job fighting through his double team. So if you watch Jared Verse, this is where the play's made down here, this part of the field. So Jared Verse is going to get double teamed by this guy and this guy. Verse is going to work really hard on the inside, taking them both with him, leaving Nate Landman to help seal the edge. So Nate Landman's going to get to the edge, plant his feet, not fall for the bait, force him to go back inside. Let's just sound gap integrity. So even though they're still getting yards, they're still moving down the field more than what we've seen the Rams give up in past weeks, it's still not an explosive run. It's still not 20, 30, 40 yards down the field. If Nate Landman was not sound here, let's say he gets excited, like, oh man, there's no one here. Let's say he rushes this right here. Justice Hill is very athletic and fast. If Nate Landman misses, there's no one else here. He's bouncing outside for a huge run, and you're hoping Cam Curl can get there. So you see him make a little move. Nate Landman stays put, feet planted. Boom, make the tackle. So even these plays where it's like, hey, 5-6 yards, Nate Landman is the safety net. Where last year it was Quentin Lake, stopping plays 7, 8, 9 yards down the field. This is the worst that we've seen because the Ravens were just have a alignment. What's the word? Alignment advantage. They're in 13 personnel. This is more so on the coaching than it is the players. Because I'm sorry, in what reality, despite how good we feel Quentin Lake is, in what reality should he be down here in the box getting ready to take on an offensive guard like he does right here? Yeah, that's not a recipe for success on stopping the run, but we do see them, eventually progress. Second quarter, 3rd and 6. We actually get a pass play. Nate Landman's going to make a tackle in the open field against a very quick Zay Flowers. I'll give him credit, man. In like last year, you'd see linebackers grasping at players with a hand tackle, with an arm tackle, and not make it. Nate Landman's pretty damn strong. When he gets a hand on someone, here he is. He's going to bring him down. Boop. Gets him tripped up. Yeah, quick hands. Let's see that again. Little whoop, trip him up. Grab his ankle. So unfortunately, it is a first down. Kind of a broken play there. One of their few successful pass plays on the day. Not really going to break this down too much. It's just another one of his tackles. All right, now we're getting into the good stuff. This is where we've finally seen adjustment. This is 6:26 mark in the second quarter, 1st and 10. Let's look at the personnel. Ravens are back in 12 personnel. You got Mark Andrews right here. Here's a tight end. And here's Isaiah Likely, another tight end. So that's 12 personnel, something that the Rams, we hope that they will start running a little bit more. What's the adjustment that the Rams made? Well, they take a safety off the field. They took Cam Kinchins off, even though they still want to put a safety in the box. There's Cam Curl down here. Probably watching Mark Andrews to some extent. Quentin Lake is deep out here where my face is covering. Sorry. But the addition that they make, they bring in an additional interior defensive lineman. So here's Poona Ford. This is Ty Hamilton. And then good old Captain Kobe Turner, Byron Young, and Jared Verse. This is a lot harder for defenses to run on. Bigger body guy. I mean, kind of just makes sense, common sense. What they want to do is get more double teams. Here, they want to double team 70 and 77 on Poona Ford and work up to Nate Landman. They want 77 to eventually get a hand on Landman here. Poona Ford is so damn strong. As this play progresses, I want you to watch Poona Ford rip the hand off of 77, make him go stumbling and miss Nate Landman on the block. Here. Nate Landman makes the tackle. It's only a 2-yard gain. Very successful run stop here. Poona Ford helps make this play, though. Here it is right here, in case you missed it. He puts a hand on Poona Ford. Ford rips it off. Kind of pushes his back. Gets him out of the way for Nate Landman to make the tackle. Really cool play. Just smart. Like, just savvy. Like, I don't think I've really seen that too often. And think of that first play we looked at where there was a cutback lane for Derrick Henry. We picked up like 6 or 7 yards. Here he comes again, working through this cutback lane. So here's a natural lane right here. This guy's in the way. Landman undercuts it, helps him make a tackle right past the line of scrimmage. It's crazy. The success rate when you bring in another interior defensive lineman is very helpful. It just doesn't allow these guys to have easier teeing off to get up to the second level. And my whole point about Nate Landman, even though he's not like, he doesn't really pop on the film as like, oh, he's clearly the best player on the defense. He's sound. He trusts these guys to do their job, and he fills in where he needs to be. So he's reading this. He sees, all right, the flow's that way. Poona Ford's taking up this gap. Ty Hamilton's got this gap. I've got Cam Curl lurking in the middle in case he needs to fill in here or here. His job, like, oh, okay, cutback lane. Makes the sure tackle. And he's such a sure tackler, too. So when he makes a decision and he goes and he flies at a player, high probability he's making the tackle. Small correction on this play. This is actually Tyler Davis right here. That's Ty Hamilton. So sorry, I was giving credit to the wrong guy. Small correction. Next play. Alrighty. Second quarter, 3:25 tie game, 1st and 10. It ends up being a 5-yard run. Nate Landman does square up with Henry in the lane, the running lane. I don't think this is a very good play by Landman per se. I feel like he can get here quicker. Let's just go ahead and watch it. Ravens are going again, trying the stretch play. Gets a cutback. There's Landman in the gap, making the tackle. So what happens here? A little bit of success alignment-wise for the Ravens. They're in 12 personnel again. Here's a tight end right here. Here's a tight end right here. Give credit to the Rams. They're still in their heavier set. You got Tyler Davis, Ty Hamilton, and this is Poona Ford down here. These guys do a pretty decent job. Tyler Davis flows with them, doesn't give up ground, keeps going vertical or horizontal. Poona Ford goes down the line. But because of alignment, like he's just kind of way out of the way. Watch this. Very similar to what we saw before where Landman stopped them for 2 yards. Here, they're trying to get the double team 70, 77. 77 is going to put another hand on Poona Ford. This time he doesn't get pushed out of the way, but he still misses Nate Landman. See, hits Poona's hand down this time. Still misses Landman. This is something that was missing last year for the Rams. This is why a lot of runs would go for longer than even what was happening in this game, where the linebackers would, at right here, would get jammed up. And then now you've got a running lane where now maybe hopefully Dolak is getting there, or you're waiting for one of these safeties to tackle him at 10 yards down the field. So even this is a vast improvement. You're not going to stop every team for, under 3 yards of carry. This is Derrick Henry. This is a run-heavy focused offense. These little things are going to keep stacking for the Rams as they continue to get better in run defense. Yeah, what I would like to see when I said I don't think Landman did a great job here, but I think it just might be an athleticism thing. I would like to see him maybe take a different angle so that way he can just get here faster. I don't know if that's really possible from this angle, but the angle he took causing him to have to do this little swim move slows him up just enough to let Henry get downfield a little bit more. Again, I could be completely wrong. This is about as best as they can do. At this point, you're hoping Tyler Davis wins this one-on-one and completely jams it up. But Henry's fast enough to cut it back. So still a successful play for them, and another tackle for Nate Landman. So leading into the goal line stand, I do want to talk about this. It's not just only Nate Landman film in this segment. This is getting to that goal line stop that the Rams had right before halftime. Here, and actually we're going to get a little bit of a bad Nate Landman play. This is where I think he struggles a lot, is when he's blitzing from depth because he's not quick enough, fast enough. Here, he's going to shoot the gap. He's going to try to get inside 68 here. Pause. And gets blocked enough. Derrick Henry bounces outside, and luckily Sean Dolak is quick on the trigger there. Makes a tackle from behind. So, same thing that we're getting before from the Ravens. 13 personnel. And even though the Rams are in a deeper set, I feel like at some point, I don't know, is it sound to bring in another defensive lineman? Just based on weight itself. Here's a tight end right here, tight end right here, tight end right here. So you got 8 blockers, man. Even though you got a lot of guys in the box, just numbers alone. Rams are winning this, or Ravens are winning this. So this is one area that I feel Nate Landman can improve on. He's not the same as like we've seen in the past with like Ernest Jones. Shout out to Jim Youngblood on Twitter for pointing that out to me. But I did want to show this because eventually we're getting to the goal line stop here. Cool. All right, next play. We're running all the way straight through. We've got 1st and 4. Derrick Henry does get 3 yards here. He's going to get tackled by Tyler Davis. Let's just run this through. Even though Landman doesn't get the tackle here, sometimes, man, you just got to take on the block and not get pushed backwards. Here's Landman. He's going to take on the block and at least hold his ground to make it muddy. It's so hard to see what the hell is going on down there. Yeah, that's what you want to see out of your middle linebacker, man. Not get blown the hell up. You got 72 pulling right through the B gap here, trying to move him out of the way. So even though Landman doesn't get the tackle, he's very much a part of this play. Because if he's getting blown off the line and pushed out the way, you know, that force right there, even though Hamilton gets this tackle behind him, you're going to see Hamilton right here. I'm sorry. Tyler Davis. I keep saying the wrong tie. Tyler Davis. You're going to see him peek through right here. He's the one that's going to end up getting the tackle. Now, I've seen Derrick Henry work through these a lot. Does he go down if Landman and that blocker are not stuck in the way? Who knows? But here, they see success, right? They're trying to score before halftime. They're down to the 1 yard line. Like, they're going to score, right? You would think they would score. You got Derrick Henry. What do the Ravens do? Here we go. It's 2nd and 1 at the 1 yard line. They rush to the line. They go in a pseudo wildcat. I don't know if I'm using Mark Andrews here. I don't know why you don't use the Derrick Henry, the actual running back. But Mark Andrews is at quarterback. Cooper Rush is just back here. Why do they do that? So, go back to the huddle. The reason you do this, you rush to the line. You're trying to throw the defense off. When they're changing personnel, they still see the same set. They're thinking, okay, they're going to come out in 13 personnel like they have, whatever it is, traditional quarterback under center. But you rush to the line to hopefully catch the defense off guard. The Rams adjust really, really well. Now, I don't know how the hell you tell who gets the tackle on this as a statistician, but they give Landman and Reeder the credit for this one. Here they go in the scrum. I love a good scrum. For this one, let's actually go to the sideline cam on this one. Here's a sideline view. Just stonewalled. I like this angle a lot better than the end zone, so that way you can actually see it. But just a really, really good anticipation by everyone involved. Good job. Kudos team all across the board. But yeah, watch this stonewall. Boom. Absolutely nothing. It's not even close. Okay. Here we got 3rd and 1 at the 1. They line up for the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. Now, who gets the tackle on this one? Oh, this is the one. So Landman gets it. I think they stop it short This is where it should be a fumble, and this should be a 99-yard scoop and score for Jared Verse. Let's see it. Great stop. Here's Verse pulling away. That ball's out. How quick they are to cut that camera. How quick they cut that shit. Oh my God. But this is really good. This is great by Landman and company right here. Getting over the top and getting contact on Mark Andrews right away. Ball's out. That should be a fumble, man. I don't understand that. But we won't spend too much time on that. Go on to the very last one. Here we are. Let's break down this formation, how they end up getting a stop here. Just marker size. So you're going to get an off tackle. Derrick Henry is going to end up running left. Jared Verse is the one that ends up getting the stop here. He's working through, I think it's a tight end, possibly a double team here, and makes the stop in the backfield. Yeah, that's hard to do when you get, is that the tackle? Yeah, the tackle shifts out. So it's the left guard. He's going to kick out here, hit Verse first. Also get a tight end to try to help Verse, because what they want to do is let Henry hit here and try to bounce it outside. First contact, Verse is on someone here. Next contact, he's got two guys on him. Works through him, makes the tackle. And what's our boy Nate Landman doing up here? I love the flow of the defense. So we'll see in the end zone cam in a second. Here's Nate Landman. I really like his IQ, like I said, in watching the backfield. Watch his movement. He's tracking Derrick Henry the whole time. So he sees where the play is going, gets into a good spot out here. Waits to see, because Derrick Henry stops, so he stops. What is he doing? Sees he's trying to go outside. Tries to get outside, ends up getting blocked. But I do like the flow because Sean Dolak's going to be out here as well. This play was just getting blown up completely. Phenomenal 4th and 1 stop by Rams defense. These guys are juiced. I was juiced. Love it. One more time from the end zone cam. We're bumping over. Penetration, man. Poona Ford makes this play too. Here's Poona right here. Watch him just collapse in the inside there. This play's done. There's absolutely nowhere for him to go. His only hope is he can cut and win outside, but Jared Verse just snuffs it out. So what happens, you get a lot of dogs on that defensive side. So remember what I said earlier where Nate Landman likes to always throw a punch in, even when he's just making a standard tackle? Kind of happens here. This is the first Zay Flowers fumble. Nate Landman takes a dive at it. I think Jared Verse somehow gets the credit for this fumble, but I could have sworn on the live broadcast it was Nate Landman getting his 3rd peanut punch of the year. So here's Landman. You're going to get a pass to Zay Flowers. You're going to see Landman work all the way back, make a tackle, and help force the ball out. Here we go. He's in coverage. So here's Landman for you in case you lost him. Tracking. Getting back. Here's the dive. Punch. Ball's out. Quentin Lake's 2nd turnover of the day. Gotta love that for him. I think it's his 2nd turnover ever. So he doesn't even have a fumble recovery. So he got his first interception, first fumble recovery of his career, all in the same game. So even when no player is perfect, even though Landman gets a little bit out of position here in trying to wrangle in Zay Flowers originally, right here, you're going to get a little bit of over pursuit by Landman. Plus, Zay Flowers is very fast. It's the fact that he's able to not get blocked. 72 has a clear shot at Landman, and he's good enough to get off that. Here's the dive. One more time. Ball's out. And that's great, man. This is what we talked about. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here. One thing that was missing last year, not just the run stopping, but they didn't force a lot of turnovers. They got a lot of sacks later in the year, but especially early on, they weren't forcing those wild card turnovers. So you could be doing everything properly, everything right, but sometimes you just need a little bit of that luck. You need a little bit, you need somebody to throw an extra punch here, to not give up there. So that way when, even if somebody is moving down the field, you just get that one turnover that just ruins the whole thing. And we're seeing that a lot more. The Rams are near the top in the league and getting turnovers. And a big part of that is Nate Landman. So even plays like this where it looked like, shit, man, they're getting a big pass play. They're going to start a drive. Oh, oops, here's a fumble. Really cool to see that happening this year for the Rams. Let's get back to the film. So again, despite Shula making those adjustments about midway through the game, we still see instances where they're out of their mismatched personnel wise. The Ravens are back in 12 personnel. You're going to get tight end here, but the Rams are in their star base set. You got a DB, obviously here's a corner, safety, and then another safety, Quentin Lake right here. So I look at it as a box formation. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 linemen and 2 tight ends. So that's 7 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 true run stoppers. For the Rams, they like to count their safety in the box as another run stopper, but it's just not the same as having another linebacker or another defensive lineman. Let's see how this play runs out. Nate Landman gets the credit for the tackle here. It's still a 4-yard run. About 3.5, 4 yards counts as successful for teams. So a successful run. Here's Landman. Works to make the tackle. What I'll highlight here, like again, is his gap soundness. So here he's kind of working. His job is this alley right here. You see how he's constantly staying, and then as he gets near, now he can work through it. Not always pretty. It's not always clean. Where like, oh, he ran in and got a clean shot on the running back, but he is able to work through 64. Work through the contact on his way to getting Derrick Henry here. Again, this personnel is not in favor for the Rams. You're going to get an easy double team here. Braden Fisk has been playing okay. You're going to get that double team. It's just all messy. You're really asking, you kind of are getting these 3 linemen to really have to handle Braden Fisk as the only down lineman, and then they're already to the next level. So this is more on Shula. Again, why not just stay in your base 3-4 when they come out in 12 personnel? I'm not sure why, but they're very, very fortunate to have good run stoppers like Landman, who can flow to the ball and go ahead and help you to stop. One more time. Yeah, I think at this point, Landman's got like 10 tackles or something. Let's see. We're on play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10th play. So that'd be his 10th tackle, or at least 9.5 tackle. Anyways, let's go to the next play. All right, here we go again. 13 personnel for the Ravens. Here's a tight end right here, and a tight end backside here. Rams do adjust. They bring down a safety into the box, but they've also got their extra down linemen. You got Verse, Ford, I believe this is Davis, and Fisk down here. Let me double check that. Yep, exactly like I said. Ravens kind of still have numbers in their favor. They've got 1, 2, 3 to block these 2 down linemen. So what they want to do, they want 77 to hook and be able to take Puna Ford out. You got 70 and the tight end. Double teaming Verse, hopefully getting up to Troy Reader. And then they're hoping Isaiah Likely is going to be able to stock block one-on-one with Landman, because Derrick Henry is going to be coming off tackle here. The rest of these guys are just kind of flowing, trying to keep the back end out. Nate Landman, though, is going to do a really good job of attacking Isaiah Likely's outside shoulder, keeping outside contain, and then leaping and making a leg tackle on Derrick Henry. 2-yard gain. Very, very good. Very, very good. Because this is blocked well. Right here. This is like, I would assume in most cases for the Ravens, this is the look they want. This is walled off right here. They had 3 to block 2. Mark Andrews is working his way up to Troy Reader. I think he's successful. It really is dependent on this right here. And Nate Landman wins. He gets off him, gets back outside. Derrick Henry sees that. Now he has to cut because he doesn't want to bounce it out. His job is to get as many yards as possible. If he continues this way, he's probably getting stretched out further down the field by Nate Landman. Plants his foot back into the flow of the defense. Even if Landman doesn't make that tackle, Verse is right there diving at his legs too. For, I believe, a 2-yard gain, 3-yard gain. So little stuff like that, man. Nate Landman just does all day, gets his 10th or 11th tackle on the day. Highlighting his open field tackling as well. How many times in the past 1 or 2 years do we see someone make a catch and a linebacker misses the initial tackle, and now a 5-yard catch turns into a 10-yard play, 15-yard play? It gets very frustrating after a while. Nate Landman, though, on a very, very, very good tight end in Mark Andrews, makes an open field tackle. Andrews is going to run a pretty simple stop here. Landman is dropping back into his zone. So it's a good read by Cooper Rush by getting the ball out. Gets the ball out, catches it. Right away, Landman's on him. Doesn't just go leap at him. Grabs him, drives his feet, takes him back. Makes it very clear, hey, you're not going anywhere at all. Landman is strong. I mean, I'm not going to dive it. There's nothing to really analyze too crazy here. Just appreciating that from this point right here, he didn't overrun it and make a bad arm tackle and miss it. Just straight up grabs him, drives his legs, takes him back. And it's a mentality thing too, man. You want your inside starting linebacker to make mean tackles. That's a mean looking tackle. You drove him back further, you threw him to the ground. That's a statement. Those things matter. So yeah, just a good open field tackle. Next play, quarter 3, 7:20 on the clock, 3rd and 1. Rams are up 17-3. Ravens are still trying to force the ball on the ground because, they just really are not trusting their pass game. Back into 13 personnel. So you got one tight end here, and then they got the third tight end treated as a fullback. He's going to lead the way for Derrick Henry. They're going to try to wash this down here, which they do pretty successfully. Try to stock block there. Trying to wash all these guys down. And then you got one fullback trying to lead the way for Derrick Henry. He does pick up, I think, 6 yards. Let's see. Picks up 7 yards. Nate Landman makes the tackle here off the edge. And credit where credit's due, man. Ravens blocked this really well. This is something that Jared Verse does pretty well in recent memory, where he crashes the line down hard and makes a tackle. But Mark Andrews is a very good and smart tight end. So happens, he takes Jared Verse for a ride. Jared Verse gets dumped. That's a win for Mark Andrews. Also, I'm noticing here, Leroy Murchison had a sack on the day. When he cuts inside here, he kind of slips. When he slips, it helps the offensive line because as all they want to do is just wash everyone here and Jared Verse. They want to push him all down this way. They want to make this messy and muddled with a one-on-one block out here with the fullback on him to let Derrick Henry just go crazy. So right here, this is a win. Again, set up. This should be a big play for them. A bigger play than 7 yards. He's blocked here. You got a lineman running right at Cam Curl. Everyone here is damn near on the ground. Here comes Derrick Henry. He should be one-on-one with Quentin Lake, but because this guy doesn't quit, works through his tight end. And Cam freaking Curl, bro. This is a hell of a play. Cam Curl damn near makes this tackle through the lineman. Watch Cam Curl dive through 72 and take out Derrick Henry at the same time Landman gets there. This is why the Rams will continue to keep playing the safeties in the box against run-heavy fronts, because it plays like this. Cam Curl, Nate Landman combining for the tackle, but majority of that's on Cam Curl. As little things like this, in addition to, yes, we're highlighting Nate Landman today, but it's the rest of this defense, man. Even when one guy is failing, even when Murchison falls right here, Jared Verse gets blocked down. Last year, this goes for like 20 yards. You're like, God, what the fuck is going on? But just tough. Boom. And following up, not quitting, working through your block. And look at the punch. Look at the punch. He's trying. Dude, he's trying. Oh, I love it. Even though this is a 7-yard gain, you're one foot slip away from these guys stopping this closer to the line. Oh man, even on the plays they give up, they're working hard. I really like this run defense right now. So another quarterback sneak. Not much to talk about here. They ended up getting. The only thing I'll talk about though is the fact that let's go back to it. Nate Landman is still punching at the ball like a psycho. Dude, he's just out here punching everybody. Watch at the end of this play here. Landman's right here in the middle. You just start punching. Give him a little love tap. Little love tap right there. Again, like I have said a few times, Nate Landman, not the greatest athlete. What's his greatest attribute? Always in the right spot. Always where he needs to be in a given play. Here, this ends up being only about 3-yard run for Derrick Henry. Rams total team defense really gets a win here. Let's see what they're trying to block. Out of the gun, kind of same format. Kind of get the defense stretched. Try to get some kind of double team here. Kind of double team, one-on-one. Trying to just get these guys stretched. So that way Derrick Henry, at some point with his vision, is going to find a cutback lane. But yeah, guys in the right spots. Hell of a play by Troy Reader as well. Credit where credit's due, man. I know a lot of you don't like Troy Reader. You got 77 free on him. Makes a cut. Gets inside. He's there to make a tackle. Troy Reader wraps up. But it's Derrick Henry. So who knows? Does he break this tackle? Does he bounce outside? We've seen Derrick Henry do this many times, man. He's very big. And then Nate Landman with the cleanup tackle. So linebackers where they need to be. How much of an influence does Nate Landman have here? How much is it just coaching, overall team defense? Because right here is where a lot of teams get into trouble, where now you got Derrick Henry getting to the second level. Kobe Turner's not making that tackle. Good job by Troy Reader. Good job by Nate Landman being here on the back end here. He's here as a catch-all for a cutback. Makes Isaiah Likely miss. Helps with a very forceful wrap-up tackle. So that was 2nd and 10. Rather than letting him go and pick up 5, 6, 7 yards, it's going to end up being 3rd and 7 for a Ravens offense that is not confident in passing the ball at all. Not a crazy play. Just really highlighting his ability to stay in good gap integrity. Derrick Henry actually gets a good amount of plays on this one. This is 1st and 10, 4th quarter. Tyler Huntley is now in the game, so it makes it a little bit more challenging for the Rams defense because they have to stay home. They can't crash down on Derrick Henry as much because you have to worry about this guy's takeoff ability, which he showed a few times in the game. What the Ravens end up doing here, they're going to work a single here. They're going to work a double team. Boom. Working up to Troy, is that Sean Dolak? You're going to get a one-on-one block here. You're going to get Andrews working up to Nate Landman, who does eventually make this tackle. And then the tackle is going to kick out to pick up Verse. They're giving a handoff straight to Henry. The goal is to get up right in here. Let's watch the play. Bounces out. Landman with the dive. Helps make the tackle along with Quentin Lake. Now, I never played defense. I don't know if this is the right thing Landman's supposed to be doing. But there's a few things here. You can't just, even though they're probably going to want to run the ball. It is 4th quarter. They're down by 2 scores, and they made a change at quarterback. So you got to be aware of a few things. You got to be aware of the zone read. You got to be aware of Huntley taking off this way with the ball. So that's why the linebackers kind of freeze for a moment. Also the play action, because you're going to see he's pointing this way. I'm assuming he's making a call about, watch that direction. But you do have a tight end leaking this way. Andrews getting right upfield doesn't necessarily mean it's a block. He may give him a little stock and then go. So Landman's going to engage with him. Just don't let him go. Not getting blocked every time isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're able to shed the block and make a play. Here, who knows what he's thinking? Is it don't let him get a free release because it's probably a play action? But after he sees, okay, who's got the ball? Henry's got the ball. It's a run play. He's strong enough to get off Andrews? Work through is a little bit of a see some jersey pull right here. That might be enough for a hold. But anyways, able to get at least out here to help make the tackle. It may not seem like a lot. I'm not grasping at straws. Trust me, I'm not sitting here making a simple play out to be, oh, he's Superman. He's the greatest linebacker ever. No, but these things matter. I'm sorry, but remind me who this running back is. Again, as much as I I think Quentin Lake is a very underrated safety. If Nate Landman is still getting blocked back here, or he just doesn't even he makes an arm tackle and misses, you're asking Quentin Lake to go head up one-on-one with Derrick Henry. Who knows how that turns out? Maybe this turns into a 20-yard run. But instead, Landman's able to at least to grab an ankle to help out the rest of the team defense. So sure, this is an 11-yard run. Sure, this is bad here. In the concept of what the situation is, fourth quarter, up by 2 scores. Hey man, if they want to run the ball and they pop off once for 10 yards, we'll take it. They're going to waste time as long as they're not passing it and not breaking off 40-yard runs. So still a win for Nate Landman here. And Nate Landman's last tackle of the day is on Zay Flowers. Actually, I like the play design. Zay Flowers is going to come in motion. He's going to run a very lazy drag route. I think what they're hoping to get is a zone beater. You're hoping to get a very, very fast Zay Flowers on an inside linebacker, which they do. Nate Landman reads it, is breaking on it. And again, talk about open field tackles. This is still, it looks easy, and I'm glad he makes it look easy. But by God, how many times last year did we see Christian Roseboom or Troy Reader just not even in this position? Like, they're still back here hoping to finally get here after the catch is made. Or they get here just late and they missed a tackle here. But tackle's made right as he catches it, and it's not even a question. This is 3rd and 10. I complained last week about a really long 3rd down that he gave up to the Niners. Here they don't make that same mistake. The ball is snapped. Where are we at? Here. First down is the 5-yard line. As the play develops, drops back. Good coverage up here. Really good. Really sound. It's a simple play, man, but now it's 4th and 10 versus 4th and short, like we would see last week in previous years as well. So really, really good. That's Nate Landman's 17th tackle of the day. Let me know what you guys think. I know there's nothing that like popped crazy of like, oh man, this guy needs to be an all-pro. And that's my point. Like I told you, is he's just really good at his job. He goes where he needs to be. He trusts the front line. Hey, you guys go be the superstars, shoot the gaps, work these double teams. I'm going to fill in where I need to, whether it's a cutback lane, whether it's filling in, taking on a blocker and working through to make a tackle so that way our safeties aren't getting jammed up. I just think he's the perfect linebacker for this system. Not an overly amazing athlete, but enough and strong and tough enough to get in the trenches and make these tackles where they need to be. Like, as well as the defense played, these were the most rushing yards they gave up on the day because this is all the Ravens wanted to do. But he's been doing this week in and week out, and this is why the Rams' run defense is near the top in the league right now. So, shout out to Nate Landman. Phenomenal day. He is now an all-time Ram in at least one statistical category. Let me know what you guys think. How was this session today? I know it was a little bit less play-oriented, so there was less drawing on here, just focusing on one player. Drop what are we going to use? Use a punching glove drop a punching glove emoji down below if you watched it all the way through this point. Let me know you made it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next 2 days. We're going to do another film, but we'll figure out on who. As always, go Rams. Bye.